Absolutely. Absolutely. I send some people later. It's like, listen, there's too many folks. Too many folks. Too many folks.
Thanks for coming. You want to try dress?
It's a burlesque.
You know, it's funny. Some rooms are warm,
right?
Some are cool.
Of course. Are you okay with folks taking pictures and or video of this panel? Okay, there we go. That's your answer, guys.
Yeah,
go.
I will.
Sir, first
I should mention there's a $25 release.
Oh, there is a deer. Yeah.
And we can form a line right over here.
Yeah. Cash only. Cash only. Sir,
mercenary that I am. So.
How are you doing this evening?
I'm doing good. Good to see you. I'm not going to shake your hands. I've skipped you here, but I'm going to.
Right. I got the fist bump.
A week.
I'll do a weekend with you sometime.
People see you and they begin to wonder. So you.
It's all right. That's all right. Megatron has been bar fighting. That's what that is.
Well,
sir, you are the voice of our lifetime. Okay. And first and foremost, I just have to start off with saying thank you for all the work that you've done, the artistry that you've given us, so many favorites. And I have to know, from our perspective, do you have a favorite character that you've gotten to bring to life?
Well, first of all, thank you for saying that. I appreciate that. Thank you all for coming. And I've been asked that question, and I don't want to feel like this is a cop-out, but there's so many that I like for different reasons. And obviously, I love Megatron because he's such a wonderful villain, and I created him from scratch.
Yes.
Literally scratch. He's been consistent for me throughout the years, and he's like an arch villain. On the other hand, I love Curious George because he's just such a sweet little monkey, you know. Well, I don't care for George. Megatron, shame on you. But seriously though, they all bring different things that evoke from yourself, that you enjoy. It's very bad wording there, but and then I like doing some of the goofy ones. Are always fun. There was a character he had called Fall Apart Rabbit, and Dynamite, Dog Wonder. Oh gosh, what are we gonna do, Blue Falcon? I don't know. We're gonna have to think of something, Dynamite. But that show, which was many years ago, and probably a lot of you don't even know, but there was an actor named Gary Owens that played the Blue Falcon, and he was one of the greats from an earlier era and did a lot of television shows. But anyhow, working with other actors is another reason that you enjoy characters. Getting to work with Mr. Cohen, by the way.
Hey, makes noise for Peter.
Very early. In fact, if you wouldn't mind, would you guys mind giving a little shout out to Peter just to tell him hello and he's feeling good?
Well,
he would be here. He's just a little under the weather, and I thought maybe if you just say, here, let me get my phone. Yes. I'm technically challenged, so you'll have to bear with me, but. Okay, so I'm going to go to memos, right?
Do you want a memo or do you want...
Oh, no, I could do the audience. Yeah, I'll do video. Say, I warned you. So let's see, there's the video. Okay, this will be fun. Okay, that looks right. Okay, yeah, I think that worked. So, Peter did say, he really misses you. He wished he could have been here. And what he did is he strained his back this time, and severe strain. So that's hard, when you get our age, So that is the only reason. And he said, well, I'll come Sunday. So he really, really wanted to be here. So if you want to just say, hi, Peter, we miss you. How's that?
We can do that.
Okay.
Ready?
I'll start over here, and I'll let you conduct.
Ready? Okay, sounds like it's on. 3, 2, 1.
Hi, Peter! We miss you!
questions if you don't mind, so we'll jump right into it. We'll start on this side and then go back and forth. Hello, Frank.
A little bit of cheer, sorry about that. It's an honor, sir. Again, I saw you earlier today. It's a true honor to have you here. I did have a question. Kind of a technical one. I run a figure and stop motion animated review channel of some of the collectibles and Transformers and whatnot. And one thing I really struggle with, because I'm originally from upstate New York, which is the lowest altitude in the country versus the highest altitude in the country, is vocal performance when I'm recording audio. Do you have any strategies or recommendations on how to perform when conditions get a lot more difficult? Like if it's very dry or hot? Any foods you avoid? Any strategies you try, like breathing exercises?
Voice acting question. So, in an effort to protect the performance in not necessarily the most pristine of temperatures or things like that, how do you protect your voice?
Really good question. There's one thing that's really critical, and that is working the mic. There's techniques for working the mic so that when you need to do explosions or screaming or yelling, you can do it without actually screaming and yelling. You know, you kind of move in on the mic and make sounds, like for example, sound wave. Sound wave sounds pretty big when you see him on screen, but if you hear him without this mic, I am Soundwave. I am here, my liege, to answer any questions. There are no Autobots. I am Soundwave. There are no Autobots in the region. Never heard of that.
Oh my God.
But anyhow, this type of mic is a little difficult because you get a lot of sound and plosives. But when you work a studio mic, you can actually, there's different techniques. You really have to watch the screaming and yelling because that can take you out really quick, you know.
Great question. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Again, it's an honor having you here.
Of course. Thank you. Hello. What's your question?
Oh, hello. How did you get started off of acting?
Oh, good question. How did you get started in acting?
I was at the police department. I've been, actually, I knew I wanted to be in the entertainment business. I wasn't really sure. And I lived in a little city called Denver. And so I knew that I needed to get to New York, Chicago, or Los Angeles if I wanted to be in the entertainment business. So I talked three of my buddies into going out to LA with me, and because that was the sand and the chicks and the beach, and it was wonderful. And Hollywood. And I really wasn't thinking at the time much about serious acting. I just wanted to be in the business, which is all the wrong reasons that you really want to do that. I mean, you know, if you just want to be in the business, that's one thing. But if you really want to be a serious actor or a voice actor, there are things that you really should do. So I know this is getting a little bit away from your question. So the way I finally got in is and I would recommend this for anybody, is going to school. I thought, well, maybe I should get into the theater department.
Maybe.
You know, that was interesting to me. So I got into the theater department, started doing plays, and then I met a girl who said, you should see my agent and do commercials. And I said, okay. So I got the first commercial I ever went on. I thought, well, this business is easy. No. But I did manage to work all through college and was in the theater department, and that was a good start. And then I did a lot of commercials all through college, did a lot of plays, so I was really studying theater. And then I wanted to do stand-up comedy, and that led me into another area. And I toured, went on, did that for a while, and then started getting into going auditions for movies. Started doing that, and then slowly got into voices, and then it got so busy that I ended up just staying in voices. But basically it was through college studying finely, and then taking it more serious in commercials, television, movies, stand-up, voiceovers.
Great answer.
Thank you.
Thank you. Before we continue, ladies and gentlemen, join us in welcoming to the stage Mr. Michael Bell.
So Michael is my guest, by the way.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
See, now he's going to say, no. He started the whole thing.
I am taller than you. Why do I look like your hand puppet?
So Michael is one of the guys I had the great fortune of working with out in the business that I met early in my career. And he was, God, I hate saying this. He was one of my idols.
Nothing wrong with that.
Not one of my major idols. Just one of my, idols. But Michael, isn't this a good
Feet of clay. Feet of clay.
But Michael was a serious actor. When I met him, I saw a guy who really could act, who was a voiceover artist. And he was doing a lot of detective roles and all that kind of stuff. And he was very impressive as a voice actor. But I saw for the first time how somebody could really act and do voices and also be funny, crazy, and professional. And he has been one of the great Transformer team participants and actors.
We did Smurfs together.
And, yeah, we did a lot of shows
Did
together.
a lot of stuff, and
a lot of shows together.
I've made a fool of you almost every single time.
He's made a fool of me. Actually, he's the one who kept Peter and I in trouble all the time.
All the time. But Frank got even once. I don't know if anybody knows the story. We were doing something about a space character, whatever it was, and the director, Gordon Hunt, said to me, Michael, okay, you're underwater in this scene with Frank, and you have to talk as if you're underwater. And I said, that's easy to do. So I said, give me some water. I took some water, and I went, okay. Sorry, Gordon, let's try this again. Not gonna do this, not gonna do it. Okay, this is really hard. And he says, Frank, your character's with Mike, obviously. Can you talk underwater? And Frank went, well, what do we do now? Oh, we're really in trouble. And I said, Frank, why wouldn't you have alerted me on how to do that?
I waited till he finished his bottle of water before I gave him that secret.
And he said, because it was so much fun watching you drown.
I was waterboarding in the voice business.
Because he did all this stuff, and he did this 68 ducks or whatever it was. And we saw him at the Ice House, right?
Yeah.
He was at the Ice House. We had seen Frank, and I did a lot of animal rescue stuff. And I said I put together a huge show to raise money for animal rescue, and he came and he performed for us and just knocked everybody out. And so he had done all that stuff, and then here we are, working together, full bore, as it were. And it was such a treat because he's such an easy laugher. It's so good. Him and Peter, it was just so much fun.
And Peter, talk about a laugher.
Oh, talk about that. Peter was there any kids? Are there any kids out here? No kids?
They gotta learn. They gotta learn.
Oh, yeah. Child alert.
There's child alert. Okay. All right, I can use a Jewish line. They won't know that. Peter was sitting next to me, and he was signing autographs, and I was signing autographs next to him. And I had a nice stream of people, and his line, like Frank's, went all the way to Dakota. We were in another state, and I said he hadn't stopped all day long. He was just doing this, just looking up and doing this. And I finally turned around to him about 4 hours, and I said, I hope you get carpal tunnel, you little putz. And he couldn't stop laughing. He just, everybody had to wait while he finished laughing. It's so great.
Michael, Also, yeah, your character Prowl.
Prowl, yeah.
Prowl was one of
And Brainstorm, and Sideswipe, and Swoop, and Aunt Becky.
and Aunt Becky, yes, it was very good. But I think they wanted us to ask us some questions.
Yes,
right? So,
Oh, that's Scooby-Doo, because I guessed on Scooby-Doo, so you can ask those questions.
oh,
How did you know? So my question actually for Frank was, you've been doing this for a long time, between Scooby-Doo, Transformers, everything else. There have of course been a lot of parodies. I can think of Family Guy, I can think of Robot Chicken. They've all had their own form of parody for Transformers or Scooby-Doo, sometimes both. So my question is, do you have a favorite parody of a character you've played? Have you ever been truly impressed?
it seems like there was one that we did for Seth MacFarlane, and he was telling the kids to go to sleep or something, and they wouldn't listen to him.
Oh.
So he called Megatron in. And, I thought that was really good. I really liked it. It's about time you kids retired.
That's funny. That's funny.
Thank you very much.
Hello.
Hello, Mr. Welker. My name is McKenna. I know this is supposed to be a Transformers panel, but my most favorite voice role of yours is Scooby-Doo. So my question is, out of all the Scooby-Doo projects that you've done, which one do you look back on the most fondly, and why?
The one with Michael Bell.
Oh,
Because he paid me money dearly.
to say that, yes.
You know, I love that question, but I can't tell you how many Scooby-Doo projects we've done. So many. I know this is a little bizarre, but I like the show that we did with Kiss.
Oh, my goodness.
They came in, we all recorded together back in the days when we still recorded together.
Recorded together, yeah.
Now it's, we record by ourselves. But we worked with Kiss, and they genuinely enjoyed those recording sessions.
Yeah.
I mean, they were happy to be there. Of course, they did say, "My kids are going to love this."
Yeah, yes. Yes.
But that was a great experience, and it was fun being with guys that really, from another world, that really enjoyed our world and had respect for us and vice versa. And I thought it turned out pretty good. I didn't sing, but,
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Hello. Hi, it's a pleasure to meet both of you in person. You raised all of us, with your cartoons, so it's very nice to see you.
Of course.
My question was, if you were either a Decepticon or an Autobot, what would you transform into? Would it be a car, jet, plane?
If you personally were a Transformer, Decepticon or Autobot, what would you want to transform into?
17-year-old?
Oh, yeah. A rickshaw.
Okay, what about you? What would you transform into?
Actually, I'm sorry.
No.
That's a really good question. And I think, just probably a jet.
Okay.
I like the jet.
Makes travel super quick.
Lots of fuel, of course.
A lot of fuel,
How about you?
Probably a rocket ship.
Okay,
Want to see space?
I like that. Yeah. That's cool. I love it. He's already transformed into it. I got you. Jeez. Great question. Thank you.
Thank you. All hail Megatron.
I am looking for a replacement for Starscream.
Hello.
Thanks for showing up again here to Denver. I appreciate having some voice actors, which is kind of interesting, expression of art. And I actually, since this is the 40th anniversary of the movie, I kind of have a question from you as an actor. When you read the script, what did you think of kind of the carnage that happened compared to normal, everyday cartoons that you probably worked on in the past? So.
Did you know there would be stars in the movie?
Oh, that's, yeah.
Would there be big celebrities in the movie?
No. I don't think. Do you remember
I just remember we appeared by ourselves. We didn't have an opportunity to work together.
Yeah.
Which made it kind of different. I do know, and I think I'm sure everybody pretty much knows the story when we heard Orson Welles was going to be in it, and he was going to play the world, and he was almost as large, and so I wanted to meet him. So I said to Ollie Burr, who was our director, could I go out? Could I meet him? And he said, no, none of you guys could be on the set because it was a big studio. And I said, well, could I pose as an engineer? I can do stuff like this. He wouldn't know what I'm doing. There's a big window there. He can't see what He said, no. So I heard that Orson Welles was doing his role, and then Wally stopped him, which he is wont to do, to give him a line reading to the great Orson Welles. And Orson Welles said, Wally, are you giving me a line reading? And Wally went, no, immediately, because that's how you react to that. No, absolutely not. No. And I heard about that. And not too long after that, Orson Welles died, and I told people that Wally Burr killed him. And Wally Burr called me and asked me if I told people that, and I said yes. He said, why would you tell people that? I said, I think you did. No one has ever given him a line reading, ever. That would have killed me if I was Orson Welles.
Thank you.
That is so good.
We only have like 10 minutes. We're going to try to get through as many of these as we can.
Hi, Mr. Frank. First of all, thank you for the multiple years of this tale of brotherhood and friendship that goes into a long time war, Jeevan, Prime, Pavers, from here all the way back to my country in India. We have always enjoyed this. My question is, in your head, have you ever considered that instead of warring over Cybertron and making their problem everyone's problem, did Optimus and Megatron ever consider kissing it out?
That may speak more about what your intentions are than his, but is there another way for Optimus and Megatron to kind of find a way to end this war? Could they...
Without killing each other.
Yeah.
Well, if the war ends, the show ends. There's always that to consider.
Yes.
All right.
I would like to see just some more interesting stories along those lines, maybe in the beginnings, whether they really were brothers, were they really, close, how that all came about, and is there something in there that can be revised?
Did they live together as young guys? And maybe there was more than brothers? Well, let's modernize it, shall we? I mean, they are
Michael Bell, ladies and gentlemen, right here.
Come on.
Trouble causer, I'm telling you.
Good question.
Thank you for that.
Hello?
When both of you started Transformers from the beginning, did you guys ever see it going as far and as big as it has?
Could you have predicted any aspect of how big Transformers has become?
No, I think we were all just actors doing a job and happy to be there. We did love this show in particular because it was a large cast and we got to work with crazy people like Michael.
Oh, well, but we all worked together while Frank went out to do more work. Packed in that room. It was a little tiny room. You could have grown a mushroom plant on your chest. There was so many people in that room sharing a mic. This is way before COVID. And we shared mics.
Yes.
And in and out. And then Frank would say, okay, the director would say, Frank has to go now. And Frank would leave. And we'd be there for 8 hours. And then I think after about maybe the fourth hour or something, Frank would have to leave. And I'd say, Frank, here is a picture of me. Would you show this to my wife? Tell her where I am. Because we were locked in. I think we went on strike to some degree to say, let's make it 4 hours.
Because at that point you could work 8 hours or 12 hours.
Worked 8 to 12 hours. Yeah. And we also had, I think they at that time they bought us for 3 voices, which is why Frank does so many voices. It's because they got you got paid for 1 voice, and you owed them 2 more.
Wow.
So we went out eventually on strike and got a percentage for the third voice by that time that particular series was over. But yeah, that's why they had a room full of 8 people and 32 members of a cast, as it were. Yeah.
Incredible.
But it was fun.
Oh, that was. I remember we were when they started to have the action figures, and I remember one point, I think it was B.J. Ward had said to me, "My character isn't doing so much this week," and I said, "Because your doll isn't selling."
Oh my God.
Commerce makes everything happen.
Yeah.
Good question. Hello.
Hi, welcome to both of you. Thank you for coming out. Dan Gilvezan once told a story about being in the studio, and you talk about how small it was, of the infamous fire. Were either of you in the studio when the fire broke out? And do you have any memories of that? Otherwise,
somebody's cigarette was burning.
It was probably Chris Latta. I blame everything on Chris Latta.
that's what Dan said.
It was Starscream.
It would be Starscream. It would be Starscream.
Yeah, he smoked a lot, and I think that he put a cigarette in, that had a lot of stuff in it, and I think that was the.
He was the only person I could imagine doing that. I think it was in his mouth, and he kept his mouth closed, because every time he talked, smoke came out. No, I think it was Chris.
And did you have any memories of like special shenanigans that other cast members were doing?
Oh, I got to tell you a story. This is one of the remarkable things about Michael Bell and a few other exceptional voice performers. Rob Paulson, Jeff Bennett, and a couple other guys have this ability to tell jokes and talk and all the news, blah, 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 while the director is in the director's booth. Now, in order for the director to hear, he'll just let up the button, and then when he talks, then the actors hear him, and they're supposed to be quiet and listen. So when he lets off the button, then I'm trying to get this right.
It works. No, they understand. They get it. Yeah.
So when the director pushes the button, we can hear him. When he lets off the button, he can't hear us. These guys start in with stories, and in Michael's case, some rather ribald jokes and stories. But the point that I was trying to make is, as soon as Wally would hit that button, they would stop.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He never heard him going, if I tried that, he'd go, Frank, quiet, I'm trying to talk here. But these guys could cut it off in a second. And then as soon as he let go, they go right back to the joke. It was amazing. And that was a true talent.
Yeah, it was very funny. And when we had girls in the show, when we worked for Wally, whatever show it was, he always wanted them to sound like the guys.
Oh.
He'd always say, could you get a little deeper? Could you go a little stronger? And finally, I remember one point I said, and I remember one of those, I think it was Sue Silo was doing something, and she had a voice like this to begin with. It was, she didn't need a mic. And she was pumping like crazy. And he said, Sue, could you make that bigger? And I finally said, Wally, she's left blood on the window. Wally, this is a girl. It's a girl. She doesn't sound like you, because Wally did our voices. Wally wanted to play every single role, as I recall. Even the girl's role. And I'd say, Wally, it's a girl. They don't sound like that. It was just something you learn as you go along. I always talk back to the director, which is why I lost a lot of work.
Another thing, though, you used to do is the mic feeding back.
Oh, yeah. Irking for you, because...
Shenanigans.
He said, we're doing a mic test. Can we try this? I said, sure. We're in 8 and 9. I don't know why we're in Oing, so it's irking for me. And the guy's going, what is it? It irks. I'm thinking wrong. It irks for me.
That was great. They finally got used to it.
I got used to it, yeah.
It took a while. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. We got the bad news. We got time for one more question. I'm so sorry. You're gonna have to bring us out of here.
Well, thank you.
So you guys started these characters basically, and Transformers. And I was wondering, since at a certain point, other people started doing the same characters as you in different shows and other things. I was wondering if you ever feel any envy towards any of the other versions of your characters that you never got to play.
Well, in our day, it was an absolute no to do another person's characters. If we were in negotiation, the auditions would go out and actors would come in and say, what are we reading for? You're reading for Prowl. That's Michael Bell's character. No. Yeah, just a flat no, we wouldn't do it. And everybody was the same. And
we would ask the other actor, is this a negotiating thing, or I think Paul Winchell was leaving the Smurfs because he did Gargamel, I think the last season.
Oh, yeah.
Because he made a lot of money suing NBC. And because they destroyed all his tapes with Paul Winchell and Jerry Mahoney, so he made a couple mil or something. So I called him, I said, they asked me if I wanted to do Gargamel, because I was playing around with it, and he said, go boy chick. Be my guest. I said, because I'm not going to do it if this was a negotiation. No, I wouldn't come back, Mike. Trust me, I'm not coming back. So if you can do it, you go ahead and do it. And I said, fine, sure, we do it. But there's no way would we consider doing somebody else's character. Just no way. Then.
No, it may have changed nowadays.
Yeah, it's changed. Where is it? We wind up auditioning for our own characters. Audition for our own roles that we developed, and we don't get it. It's like, you're wrong for it.
That's crazy, absolutely crazy. But I do appreciate the honor that you had amongst yourselves. As artisans and craftsmen, it's great to know that you had that level of community, and I think that showcased in all the work that you gave us. So we really appreciate all that effort behind the scenes to give us what we got on our screens every time that we turned it on. Guys, thank y'all so very much for everything that you've given us.
Thank you all so much.
Celebrating Mr. Frank Welker.
Fans.